In the heart of the Southeast Asia lies the Philippines, an archipelago of over 7,000 islands, each with its unique culture, history, and challenges. Amidst this vibrant tapestry, unsung heroes waves the future of the nation. The teachers. From the bustling cities to the remotest villages, Filipino teachers stand as pillars of hopes and resilience. They are more than just educators, they are mentors, caregivers, and community leaders shaping the minds and hearts of the next generation. Beyond the classroom, teachers in the Philippines are community builders. They engage with parents, organize local events, and advocate for better education policies, striving to create an environment where every child can thrive.
Lagi nga bata is wala pa yung mura o kada blank sheet sila ug imo na silang hatagan og mga learnings makakuha dayon sila. Kinahanglan ang bata nga imo siyang tudluan. Depende pod sa needs sa bata.
Say, in the classroom also, we may not say that, I can't do it. I am encouraging the students, try this, try that.
That we need to give our students the opportunity to learn by their own. They don't have to spoon feed all the time. They are responsible of their own learning. Otherwise, if you spoon feed them all the time, they are not learning on how to learn. And that's a very much important nowadays, that we need to teach our students to learn how to learn.
This documentary delves into the lives of these remarkable individuals, exploring their triumphs and tribulations. Join us as we celebrate the spirit, passion, and resilience of the teachers in the Philippines, the torch-bearers of tomorrow's dreams. Join us as we delve deeper into their stories, exploring the triumphs and tribulations that define their journey. This is their story, and it is one of unwavering commitment and boundless hope.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Good afternoon.
Can you tell us your name?
Okay, I am Richie M. Piolio from Zamora, Villar.
How long have you been teaching here in Zamora Elementary School?
For 15 years because I was in Tubigon almost 7 months only.
How would you describe your teaching style and philosophy?
So my teaching style, I need to be friendly to my pupils, no? Because I am teaching grade 1. And then, kinahanglan yun nga, imo silang, kinahanglan i-cater nimo ang ilang needs, nga na, tanaw ni mga bata kung ready na ba sila sa ilahang na magugingon o readiness sa bata. Depende na siya kung asa sila suited nga imong tun-an sila kay ba ka sa grade 1, kinahanglan yun nga maka-learn sila una sa pagbasa. Kaya yun lagi nga kadang bata is wala pa yung mura o kada blank sheet sila ug imo na silang hatagan og mga learnings makakuha dayon sila. Kinahanglan ang bata nga imo siyang tudluan. Depende pod sa needs sa bata.
For the next question, can you share an example of a challenging situation you have faced in a classroom and how did you handle it?
Sa classroom kanang mga bata nga di mo tingog bitaw. Dili mo tingog nga bata manginanglan ka nga pamaagi ways nimo unsaon siya pagtudlo nga namang gibata nga murag gyud og dili lang siya mo maminaw nimo mo to nga kanang istoryahan nimo siya, istoryahan nimo ang bata inana. Ngano unsa day problema nimo kay sometimes ang bata god dili sila kayo participative sa classroom tungod kay na sila problem sa balay. Ingana niya. Unang hantod na nga ang bata nga makuana nimo siya nga mura bitaw maduol ang imong kaugalingon diha niya. Una mo learn na pud siya nga motuon, maminaw sa maestra, hantod nga mo suwat siya, mo basa, ingana. So kinahanglan gyud nga kanang mura jud kag dili mo singhagan ang bata, imo lang na siya nga kanang maymayan. Kay para lang gyud ang bata nga maminaw nimo. Unya ang pinaka-challenging gyud nako is dili kayo sa classroom. Katong pandemic time bitaw nga kanang as grade 1 teacher kinahanglan ka nga ang bata makamaong mubasa. Kay dili man pwede nimo ihatag dito nga one half sa imong class dili makamaong. So kinahanglan nga imo silang kanang tagahang time. Mono to nga pinaka-challenging is kanang mag-adto ko silang kanang mag house to house ko nila ug magpabasa, nya mo follow up nila. murag ikaduha gyud na kay una tanawon pa nimo sila kung nakamao na ba sila anang sa pagbasa kay pagbasa magyud ang problema sa grade 1 and then sunod na pod follow up na pod ug na ba sila namahuan ngana ra para sa pod sa classroom inahanglan na gyud nga imo ra siyang tanawon ug asa dapit ang pinaka problema sa bata ug adto nimo siya paano tuduan.
Inside the classroom, ma'am, how do you discipline your students?
Ang ako gyud nga naa na ko do ang kanang moingon ko nila sa first 2 weeks na nila nagyud ko ikuan nila nga sa classroom nga mao ni ang akong rule. Once gani nga nagluhag mo unya nagsige na kog tan-aw ninyo tanawa nga ni smile ako. Kaya ang akong smile is meaning ana nga nasuko na ko ana nila. So mo na sila hantod nga mo hire na sila abot na sila ning grade 4 once nagpabadlong sila outside sa classroom gani mo na nga smile na nila nga mupuyo na sila kay dili gyud ko na mo sa room nga oh ngano nagkiyat na pud mo na dili smile na jud ang hoa.
Last but not the least, ma'am, as your years of experience as a teacher, what is for you the most rewarding thing at the end of the day?
Kanang makabasa ang grade 1 ako mao gyud ang pinaka-rewarding na anang one time nga pagtudlo nimo dili pa na siya ani nimo na ma-rate na nimo na ang imong mga rewards ana sa imong feeling nga uy kamao kayo kurong panakay makabasa sila kanang yung makabasa ang bata anha ra gyud nimo ingon nga murag nindot kayong pamati kay sa among pangutana po nila unsa may inyong kuan pod nga namo sa higher kay kami sa lower once makabasa ng bata mo yun ay pinaka most rewarding namong grade 1 teacher.
Good morning, ma'am. So, can you please introduce yourself to us?
I'm Mildred Angesa.
How long have you been teaching?
Since I graduated from college, so it's been 13 years of teaching.
Inside of that 13 years of teaching, what are the obstacles that you encountered? And how did you handle it?
Okay, so actually in my 13 years of teaching, so I've been in DepEd for 5 years and in the higher education for 7 years. So more or less with that different station and different levels of education, so I've experienced different obstacles also. So mostly in the DepEd or in the basic education, so the what we call it, the obstacle I most experience is about time management. It's because the workplace is also near the house, like that. So sometimes you should balance your time. There's a saying that you should leave your problem at the doorstep of your house or at the doorstep of your classroom. So in time management, so that time also my children are still so then there were times na I can feel na I should have been with my children, but I'm staying with my students. So when I transfer in higher education, the obstacle I most experience is about the excessive workload or the overtime. So because there was a time na I need to have this overtime since we lack teacher and we have many students or many subjects in that semester. So I should go home late at night, then wake up early in the morning. So that's the risk because I still have to travel from house to the workplace.
Aside from in your workplace, ma'am, have you encountered a problem with your students?
Talking about students, maybe the most problem or I've encountered is about discipline. So that's why most of the students maybe don't like me because I'm very strict. So when especially talking about deadlines of projects, so we agreed to when can they pass it, but most of the time these students will break the schedule. So that's why we as teachers, so I should implement what was decided in order for them to stick on the on the rules, because if they know that this teacher will bend, it's okay. Oh yes, yes. So they will become magic care, or in the future verbal, okay ra, so like that. So the student discipline is really that problem. Mostly about they will really try the teacher as to their principle.
Lastly, ma'am, what is your philosophy in life as a teacher?
Okay, so talking about philosophy, it means my vision, or how do I define success. So for me, I believe that everyone they're born naked in this world. So that means that we don't have nothing when we were born. So everything is learned. So meaning to say, in the classroom also, we may not say that I can't do it, I can't do it. I am encouraging the students, try this, try that. So,
My name is Renan Yanggorin Sale. I am from Shrub Unis Bohol, and talking about experience, I have been in the education field for more than 7 years now, 3 years and a half in DepEd and 3 years in SHED, or more than 3 years. Talking about experience, I have handled a lot of students, different kinds of students with multiple intelligences. I've been handling hard-headed students as well as good students, and they are so impactful to me as a teacher.
Can you share an example of challenging situation you faced in a classroom, and how did you handle it?
One of the most memorable experience I had when I was at DepEd is that I had one student who is very hard-headed, and I reproach him for being so hard-headed and for being always absent in the class. But he became furious. He just slammed the door and walk away. But that's normal for students in DepEd. But I had remained my composed. I have composed myself. I was able to compose myself, and I just reported it to the guidance office, because they are the ones who handle better when it comes to attitudes of students. But yeah, that's normal, and I accept the fact that there are students who are really hard-headed and they are very hard to handle.
How did you address discipline issues and create a positive learning environment, especially in DepEd?
Okay, so when it comes to having a positive attitude and creating a conducive environment for learning, is that what you mean?
Yes.
So I think that's a number one requirement for us teachers to create this space where students can express themselves, and to create space that is conducive for learning. But yeah, as I said earlier, there are students who are hard-headed, and there are students who are not inspired to learn. However, you don't have to deal with it personally. Instead, you just have to create this environment where very welcoming environment. In our teaching profession, we are encouraged to have a conducive environment, well-lighted classroom, clean, and welcoming, as well as maintaining your good atmosphere between you and your students. Yes, that's very important. It's because you see to it that your students can approach you all the time as an advisor, as a subject teacher. You have to be good in front of them. You make them feel that you are his or her parent.
What do you find most rewarding about being a teacher?
Oh, talking about reward. Aside from receiving gifts, no, because when I was at DepEd for 3 years, I received more gifts from parents and from students. Those gifts are not solicited. They are not required to give me, but if gifts are there, you just have to receive it, because otherwise they feel insulted, or they might be feel insulted about it if you will disregard the gift. But aside from that, the most rewarding thing that I had when I was at DepEd is Seeing one of my students came back to me and thanked me for being successful already in his career. She approached me. She's a she. She's a girl. She approached me and she said, "Sir, thank you very much for being there, for inspiring us to learn." You know, that is the most rewarding part of being a teacher, when you see your students succeed in their specific fields, in their careers, and they are very thankful for you. They will not forget you. And though there are times that we forget their names, however, their faces remain in us, remain in our memory. So that's it. That's the most rewarding thing for me.
Okay, sir, for the last question, what is your teaching philosophy?
Okay, teaching philosophy. As a teacher, now I believe that collaborative learning and learning by doing is very important in the classroom nowadays. Talking about students with multiple intelligences, we just have to let them learn how to learn. That's a very important thing that a teacher should instill in their minds. That philosophy, I lived that philosophy for a long time since I was teaching at that up until here. And said already just that we need to give our students the opportunity to learn by their own. You don't have to spoon feed all the time the students, because they are responsible of their own learning. Otherwise, if you spoon feed them all the time, they are not learning on how to learn. And that's a very much important nowadays, that we need to teach our students to learn how to learn.
Thank you, sir, for giving us time
Thank
to
you.
have this interview.
Thank you so much.
These three educators from different school and facing unique challenges embody the spirit of Filipino teachers. Their dedication and resilience are a testament to the pivotal role they play in shaping the minds and futures of their students.